Welcome to Vet Tales, the story of the sailing veterinary clinic. Last episode, we crossed the Sea of Cortez with a nice sail from Laredo to San Carlos. Now as we prep Chuffed for another haul out, we want to give you all a recap of our sailing and veterinary season. Made it to San Carlos. We were able to sail a ton. We ended up covering 124 nautical miles in 24 hours, which is very good for us. We were averaging 5 knots. Our top speed was 9.1 knots. And yeah, now we're on anchor in the Bay of San Carlos. We'll head into the marina in probably 2 days to start shutting Chuffed down for hurricane season and then haul her out. Hey everybody, we wanted to take this opportunity to do a little season wrap up to go through everything we've achieved this season with the help of our patrons and donators. We've travelled over 1,000 nautical miles in Chuffed this season and directly provided veterinary care at no cost to over 200 animals. But on top of that, we've also provided financial and veterinary support to rescue centres all over Mexico and veterinarians all over Mexico, so we've indirectly helped countless more animals, which is awesome, and we couldn't have done it without the help of all of you. We began the journey, as you know, in Puerto Madero, where we'd just finished our 3-year refit. The refit was epic. We thought it would never end. We were very, very happy when it did, and although 3 years was a long time, and in an ideal world it would have been a lot quicker, we helped so many animals in Puerto Madero. Towards the end of the refit, when we were getting ready to leave, we did spay and neuter campaigns. We did education with Brenda and Jenny so that they could continue the work after we'd gone. Since then, Dr. Brenda has hosted spay and neuter clinics. Dr. Jenny, who has now graduated, she was a veterinary student when we were there and now she's graduated, has opened her own clinic and is doing outreach work with the local community. And we are looking at doing as much support for them financially and just with the veterinary side of things as we can. And again, couldn't have done that without all of you. We left Puerto Madero and made it to Zihuantanejo, where we were working once again with Surfers for Strays. It was really great to see all of the girls again, and it was also really great to do work with them again. They do a bunch of animal rescue in the region, as well as doing spay and neuter and local outreach work. We got to work on a really special case with them as well, which was Camillo. He's a dog that was hit by a car quite a few months before we saw him and had lost feeling in his back legs. He was slowly regaining feeling, but was unable to walk. And he's a young dog. He has so much energy. He's so happy. He's just got such a zest for life. And we knew we had to do something to help him. So together with Surfers for Strays, we were able to actually obtain him a wheelchair and taught him and the owners how to use it. And it was just so great to see him walking again and running again. He was such an excited boy. And since then, his owners have continued to make modifications to the wheelchair and use it. And he is slowly getting a little more feeling in those legs. So maybe even one day he may be able to walk without the chair again. But for now, he's doing really great. So that was a really special case to work on. After Zihuantanejo, we made it to Puerto Vallarta. Specifically, we were mostly in the La Cruz and Punta Mita area. Once again, we had some really special stuff with the animals go on there. We did an enrichment workshop with the local cruiser kids, and that workshop was to provide enrichment to the animals at Alcora, which is a wildlife rescue center. We visited there and it was really cool, but as some of you know who've watched our last season, during the enrichment workshop, we were interrupted with a turtle rescue. So there was a very large black sea turtle, or Pacific green sea turtle, who was having trouble lifting her head. She was more or less drowning from lack of energy in the water. And so we jumped in, rescued her, and ended up having Titi, we called her, in our care for over 7 days. We believe that she was suffering from a red tide toxicity. We were administered a lot of treatment for Titi over those 7 days, and eventually were able to release her. And again, that was just such a special moment. It was great working with the cruiser community. It was great working with Profepa and the government agencies of Mexico on the case. And yeah, it was a real team effort and just seeing her go into the water was a really happy day. That was a really, really cool thing to be involved with. We also worked with a local rescue center in Punta Mita and helped them with some of their behavioral cases. We also visited spay and neuter clinics in the region and helped them out. So we were really busy in Puerto Vallarta. We loved being there, but we had big projects to do in the Sea of Cortez as well. So eventually we left Vallarta. We stopped at Isla Isabela on the way to Mazatlan, did a little bit of boat work, got the new engine checked out by Rafa, who is we think possibly the only Yanmar diesel mechanic certified in Mexico, but one of the only. So yeah, we got him to take a look at the motor. Then we did the big crossing with Ian and Addie, which is Jim's brother and his dog, across to La Paz. So that was really cool doing the crossing. It was really good for us to do it with a dog too, because I give a lot of advice to people about sailing with dogs, but hadn't done it myself. So it was a really good thing to learn the ins and outs of exactly how to have a dog on board and to identify more with the stresses of Addie didn't poo for ages on the boat. And that is stressful. So it was nice to kind of experience that so I can better give people advice on it. But he really took to the water, which was cool. So yeah, once we made it to La Paz, we jumped straight into veterinary work again. There's so many beautiful anchorages around that area too. So it was just really great to be somewhere where it's calm, the boat doesn't roll, there's just beautiful clear water, beautiful anchorages, and lots of veterinary work to achieve. So while we were there, we undertook a very large vaccination project, and we also visited multiple rescue centers, including Cerritos Beach Dogs and the Serpentario, which does wildlife rescue. The vaccine project was kind of our biggest project of the season. We knew that there was multiple villages north of La Paz, such as San Evaristo and Isla Coyote, that do not receive veterinary care because they are boat access only, very remote communities, and they do not have a local veterinarian. And it's difficult for people to take their pets to veterinarians, especially the areas that are boat access only, because trying to convince a cat to go on a boat for 4 hours is not an easy task. So we really wanted to bring the veterinary care to them. And we were able to do that with the help of our donators and patrons. We first went and did a reconnaissance mission and free clinic days to get a bit of an idea of how many dogs and cats there were, what kind of health conditions they might be suffering from. We were very pleased to see that most of the dogs and cats were very, very healthy. And we also wanted to meet the owners and the people in the communities so that we could find out exactly what their needs were so we could address them. Once we'd done the reconnaissance mission, we were able to then start getting vaccines and doing the actual project itself. Over a few weeks, we visited 6 different communities. One place has 2 people and 3 animals living there, and the other has 11 people and 2 dogs living there. So there's, very small communities, and then larger communities like San Evaristo, where there was 30 dogs and cats that we did. But over the course of a couple of weeks, we visited 6 communities and vaccinated 60 animals, and provided free health checks, flea and tick medicine, worming medicine, all of that stuff that they needed. So that was really important. And we also did some individual cases like Osa. She's a beautiful dog and she was having ear problems. Her owner actually had tried to do different treatments and it wasn't working. When we checked down her ears, she had these really engorged ticks down her ears that had made a little nest down there. And so as you could imagine, that was driving Osa absolutely crazy. So we were able to anesthetize her and get those ticks out and then put her on some eardrop treatments, cured her. She was a much happier dog. Solo Vino, another dog in San Evaristo, had an accident with his eye where another dog had bit him. We were able to treat him. So we were there to do some important cases as well as the vaccinations, which was really cool. And the vaccines were really, really important because I've mentioned before, but there is rabies in these areas. There was rabies cases reported in cows right when we were doing the vaccination campaign. And although these communities are really isolated, bats bite cows and then bats fly around and go to remote communities and can infect the dogs and cats of the communities and other wildlife and cows and things like that. So by protecting the dogs and cats, we can help protect the children and the people and the wildlife and the other animals as well. So there's a big ripple effect from doing these types of projects. Doing this vaccination project was really, really cool. It was kind of what we've had in mind for Chuffed for many years and not been able to do because of the refit and of the way we were traveling before. But Chuffed was really made, she's an expedition vessel. She's aluminium, so she can be beached. She has the lift and keel, so again, she can go and be beached or go into really shallow water. And we were going to communities that aren't charted. Some of the communities are not charted on, Navionics and GPSs and in the books. So Chuffed was made for that. She's designed to be able to go slowly into really shallow anchorages. Jim was up top keeping an eye out for rocks. We were able to anchor off of these communities that are boat access only, and that's the whole point of Chuffed and having a sailing veterinary clinic, is that there's some communities that just can't be reached in the normal ways and are really far away from veterinary care. So it was really cool to put into practice what we've been wanting to do for a long time, which is to use Chuffed to deliver veterinary care to areas that otherwise would not be able to get veterinary care. So yeah, it was a really, really good project, and we couldn't have done it without you all. We're really, really appreciative to everybody who donated to the project and to our patrons, because they are really what keeps the projects going week after week, month after month. We really feel like this season has gotten us back in the swing of things. We know how to do these projects. We've put them into practice, and we're going to be back soon doing it all again. We're really excited for some future projects. We already have started talking to different communities and organizing what we're going to do next season. So we think it's going to be very, very exciting. Exciting for us and exciting for all of you, we hope. So in summary, like I said, we've helped over 200 animals directly with the support of our donators and patrons. We've traveled quite a bit of distance this season, over 1,000 nautical miles, and it's been really cool because this coast of Mexico changes so much as you move up the coast, so it feels like we've been to lots of different places too. It was a really cool trip, and we're very excited to start again soon. So until next season, we hope you all stay very, very chuffed, and we'll be back very soon with more animal work, more sailing, and more adventures. Ready and waiting to haul out. Chuffed is completely shut down.
Pensé que iba a estar más pesado,
Stay on there, Chuffy. One moment of truth.
Ya cuando regrese,
Oh, wow, sí.
podemos subirlo un poco más.
Okay, sí.
Sí, ya con calma.
There is no longer water behind us. There is instead desert. We're on the hard.